It's just a couple of questions. I'm taking a class that's like writing in your profession, and we have to do like a paper on an innovation. I think I emailed you about it. No worries. I decided to do the social media and bodybuilding, obviously, because that's changed the name of the game a lot, and so I use that as my paper. And it's like a big paper we got to submit at the end of this.
Yeah.
Wanted to we need to get a professional in the field like opinion on it. So I just you're the first person I thought of, so just wanted to get you on here and record the little interview. That's yeah, I really appreciate it. All right. Alrighty. Whenever you're ready, Dave.
Hold on.
No worries. Okay. Cool.
How's that?
That's good. I just need to have you on there just because I'm gonna cite you as like a bodybuilding analyst and a journalist. So I just wanted to have it, just in case I could have like made up the interview, but I just wanted to do it just in case, and possibly just have it in my archive.
Sure. If it's 10 minutes, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, welcome. Hello, welcome everybody. Today I just wanted to introduce bodybuilding legend and analyst Dave Palumbo. Dave, how you doing today?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to get your opinion on the whole movement from print media to social media and bodybuilding and how it's changed the sport of bodybuilding. First, I wanted to start with bodybuilding as a sport itself and how social media has changed the sport of bodybuilding. Then I want to move into the industry of bodybuilding, how social media has changed that, with influencers and whatnot. And lastly, I wanted to go into the future of bodybuilding and what you think the new innovation might be, and your personal opinion on social media. So maybe just start off with talking about how bodybuilding was changed with social media, the sport itself, the judging, the competitors, all that.
I don't think the sport in general was changed in the sense of the judging of the sport. I think that what happened was the magazines were the most important thing for the bodybuilder back 20 years ago. And the goal was to get into the magazines because that was the only way people acknowledged you. That was like your validation, so to speak. And nowadays, magazines are not significant because they're outdated. They can't come up with information quick enough, so no one uses them. So social media has taken over. So now no one's doing photo shoots with competitors. No one is doing write-ups on competitors. It's all video. A lot of the competitors are promoting themselves in anything. I mean, there's very few media outlets out there like my rxmuscle.com outlet where we're actually featuring athletes. And I think that's why a lot of the athletes wind up contacting me, wanting to talk to me because they want some sort of validation. Yeah, sure, winning a show is important and putting it on your Instagram and everything like that and getting followers. Followers are basically analogous to how many people looked at you in a magazine, right? But you also want to be validated by legitimate media people who, critique the sport and who you feel are valid, and I'm not the only guy out there. There's other people out there as well. So it's nice when I think for competitors to be validated by social media, but also to be validated by the media outlets on social media.
You don't think social media has influenced the judging or anything like that?
No, not at all. Once in a while you get like a social media darling who, might have been a magazine darling back in the day. So in other words, we would have cover model girls that would compete and they would obviously do better because everyone knew who they were, right? So now it's the same thing with the social media girl who has 6 million followers or the guy who has 6. It definitely influences judging in the sense that the person. You're familiar with them. If it's close, you're going to give it to them. But I think it just one replaced the other. I don't think that, people forget that being on the cover of a magazine was a huge honor, back in the day. That's what if you got on the cover, you made it, so to speak. So that's similar to getting 1 million followers on Instagram nowadays,
Okay, cool. We can move into the industry of bodybuilding with like influencers. I know you have your own supplement company and stuff like that, and like athletes and how that's opened up the opportunity for not only bodybuilding to be a sport, or I like to call it like almost like a pageant because it's not like based on any type of like team or anything or whatever you want to call it, how it's changed that, people back in the day might think bodybuilding as just a stage. But nowadays, when you talk about bodybuilding, you're talking about, the different divisions, classic physique, men's physique, 212, all that stuff, all the women's divisions. How has that changed the platform for athletes that don't necessarily need to be competing on an open bodybuilding stage to enter the industry in that sense?
Well, it's good. It gives everyone the ability to enter very quickly because you can go, anyone can compete in men's physique, anyone can compete in bikini, right? I mean, get a set of abs and go on stage. So it's a stepping stone. Whereas in the past, you might have had to wait 5 years before you actually competed on the bodybuilding stage because you just weren't ready, Mm-hmm. Or if you did, you'd look like an idiot, like I did when I first competed. I was ripped, but I had no muscle and I had no place to really go. But I wanted to see what it was like, and then I went back to work and I, worked for 2 years and competed again. So it gives people the ability to enter the field or enter the industry quickly, which is great because I think the more opportunities that people have, the better. It's very intimidating to step on your first bodybuilding stage, especially if you've only been working out a year. So this ability to compete in a division with guys that are going to look more like you, as opposed to guys that are going to look like they've been training for 20 years, definitely opens up, I think, the ability for more people to enter into our IFBB NPC arena than ever before, which is good for the sport. It's good for the health of the sport, and it's a good farm league. It nurtures younger people so that when they get mature and they get those physiques and the body develops to the point where they can step on an open stage, if that's what they want to do, then they can do it.
So you think social media has helped build the confidence in competitors in a sense? Almost the that.
I think it created more awareness for the competitor. I think a lot of times bodybuilding was more of an underground type of like cultish type of thing that no one really knew about, except if you were in the hardcore gyms. Nowadays you go on social media and on Instagram, you see all these people and you can find out about and be exposed to all these competitions that you never knew about before. And you can see the results of them online. We didn't have pictures back in the 90s. No one had pictures. You had these little throwaway camera pictures. They were this big. You couldn't even see anything. So nowadays you have really high quality pictures people are taking, they're putting online, and you're like, oh, and it gets people excited because they see it. And they're like, wow, I want to do that too.
Awesome. Last question. I know you're a busy man. I just want to get like any thoughts that you have the future of bodybuilding. If you think the whole social media thing will crash, if anything will be added to the social media, maybe. I mean, I know you try to keep your plans secret, but any plans you think RX Muscle might be able to incorporate to make social media better? How we can use the platform, because I know there's a lot of negativity on the social media aspect too. A lot of people hate the fact, like a lot of bodybuilding purists talk about how back in the day it was better than it is now. And, maybe any suggestions or any ideas to how we can make bodybuilding better through social media and how we can, make the industry better as a whole through that platform. Yeah.
Social media is great because it enables you to have debate with everyone around the world. I mean, not to just plug my own channel, but, on RX Muscle, we do a show called Iron Debate, where we get people on there and we debate these topics on the air in front of the fans. The fans get to give their feedback on the YouTube video comments, and that creates, further debate. And a lot of times we see things change because of that. Like I just did a video recently where I suggested that the women's physique competitors have weight classes attached to their height, just like the classic physique men do. So in other words, everyone's complaining that the women's physique girls are getting too big. Well, limit them, give them a weight class. And then let the bigger girls go to women's bodybuilding. They brought back the Miss Olympia this year for women's bodybuilding. So now you have two viable classes. I don't know if anyone's going to listen, but you know what? The debate that I'm bringing out to social media and to my channel and to everyone who's listening will create more conversation about that. And things get done when you have conversations. So social media is look, there's always going to be negative people, but you know what? You ignore those people. Who gives a crap about them? But the positive stuff that comes out of social media is that there's conversation happening. And it's much easier to change things when more people are in favor of things. And when the organization sees, hey, there's a huge movement out there for guys and girls that want this and this and this. Maybe we should consider it. Look, I never thought in a million years they would bring in wellness division in women's bodybuilding, the women's physique division, which is basically just judging the butt, basically. Yeah. I thought it was ridiculous, and you know what? But there was enough people that want to do it. So the IFBB and NPC said, fine, let's bring it in. Let's try it out. What the hell? That never would have happened 10, 20 years ago. They would have laughed at it. But because they hear that there's a voice behind this division, they had to give it, it's time. It's due time, and it's due chance, I guess, to succeed or fail.
So this would be like the last question. I'm just tying it back to the first question with the changing and judging. The whole fiasco that happened in 2017, you believe that social media influenced the judging criteria to maybe change a little bit because of the stomachs and stuff like that, the bubble gut or whatever?
You know what, people, you guys, you're young. That debate has been going on since 1990s. Okay, when Dorian Yates came out and Nasser and those guys were coming out with distended bellies, and they said, we're going to penalize you if we see those distended bellies. So that's not a new debate. Okay, that's just an old debate that was basically rehashed because I think guys just started forgetting about controlling the midsection. They got lazy, and when you see Mr. Olympia, when it happens to him, I think that sheds a huge light on that. And I think that the judges would have probably made some kind of mention of that anyway. Did it happen sooner? Probably, because social media pointed it out more. But I think that that's something that's been a long, 25-year debate at this point since I was competing.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Dave. So appreciate it. If you have any other last words you want to include, I might include this on my own social media. So if you want to plug up RX Muscle or Species.
Yeah, no, I appreciate all the support we've been getting. If you guys like, what I've been talking about, educational videos, coverage of the athletes, pretty much, anything that you could think of related to the bodybuilding and fitness field, whether it be involving the mind, the body, the spirit, so to speak. I try to do a little of everything on RX Muscle. And I think that people appreciate it because we really try to make it very truthful. I try not to hold back the truth, even if sometimes it gets me in a little bit of trouble, because I think it's important that people know what's going on, whether it be through education of anabolic steroids or it be through my opinion of what I felt happened at a contest, even if it might not be the popular opinion. So once again, I appreciate that. And obviously the RX Muscle Instagram is very popular, which is official_RX Muscle, official_RX Muscle. And, if anyone wants to, check out my personal website, it's DavePalumbo.com, and my nutrition company is SpeciesNutrition.com. And I appreciate, what you guys are doing, someone like yourself is doing to help, popularize the sport.
And if any students ever need any coaching, I know you have your Dave Palumbo app. If you want to just plug that up there, I'm not sure what it's
called. You can sign up for any of my coaching programs at DavePalumbo.com, and that's I sell some interesting products on there as well, and unique stuff that I don't necessarily make, but I believe in: kidney detox products, liver detox. I have site injection oils and stuff like that. All kinds of weird type of stuff that's on there. But yeah, all my coaching is on there as well, and I'm very. If anyone knows me out there, if you send me an email and ask me a question, I always answer it. I also have an app out there now too for people who are want to be constantly educated. It's the Dave Palumbo Experience app. You can download it from iTunes or Android. And it's basically all my videos and all the writings I've ever done in one compiled place. Plus I answer all the app questions, the app members' questions on the app in an open forum so everyone can see the questions and answers. And we put up a workout every week. So, once again, I'm trying to just put out a lot of information so that people who are interested can educate themselves.
All right. Well, for Dave Palumbo, I'm Matthew, and thank you guys so much for listening, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, man.